As most of you know, maybe some you don't, my son, Luke Stout, age 24, walked out the door for the last time. Not days went by that I haven't tried to do something for him unless I was too sick to do so. But it's something that I have to do. And along the way, what has helped me is helping others that's in the same situation as myself and Luke. And I will continue to do so until I can't any longer.
Hey guys, it's Paul, and welcome to season 2 of the Unsolved in West Virginia series. Today we are talking about Luke Stout in memory of his mother who passed away, I think a little over a year ago now. She was an incredible woman who never stopped fighting for Luke, and now her daughter-in-law and Luke's brother, Kenny, still completely fight for justice for not only Luke, but other missing people in West Virginia as well. And so I really want to highlight Luke's case to also bring awareness to how much his family does for this community. I just wanted to thank Kenny for the multiple phone calls and just anything he could to help me put this video together, along with his wife Selena. She is fantastic. I have more than 100 things to say about how great this family is. I don't think this video would be possible without them, so thank you guys so much.
Hey guys, I just wanted to pop on here real quick and explain that Luke also had two brothers named John and Robert. You'll see John in a later clip and I'll label him for you. I just don't talk about them very much because when making this video, I primarily only talked to Kenny and his wife. I just don't want anybody to think that John and Robert didn't go above and beyond for Luke either. So that's why I just wanted to make that clarification.
If you're from West Virginia or the surrounding states, please go join this group I'm going to link below called Missing in West Virginia.
I have a group now. It's called Missing in West Virginia for those who do not know. But after I'm gone, it'll continue. I hope Luke has been found by then. So we as a family bring him home and take care of him in the right, loving, respectful way that he deserves.
Selena and Luke's mom, before she passed, ran it. Luke's mom, Elizabeth, had made this group to not only help get the word out about Luke, but any other missing people in West Virginia. And of course, I'm a huge advocate for missing persons and cold cases, so I have joined. I love it. Please go join, help their cause, and help share these stories so we can get answers for even more people than who I just do videos about. Luke was from Buckhannon, West Virginia. He was about 5'7" and around 110 to 120 pounds. He usually kept himself clean shaven, and he had a large scar on his leg above his knee. He did have a tattoo on his shoulder, and he was just very free-spirited, kind, and just when he liked things, he was so intensely passionate about them. He loved music and art. He loved to draw. He posted his drawings on his Facebook account and really liked comic books and drawing his own, and loved animals. He really liked riding bikes and skateboards, and he definitely played a lot of video games. He did work as a carpenter for a couple years, and he was just really proud of his work. He really took passion into carpentry. They always said he was a hard worker, even when he worked at Goodwill and Wendy's before this. Luke's family was really close. He lived with his mom because she was terminally ill at the time of him going missing, and just really helped her around the house along with his brother Kenny that I talked about earlier. Kenny would come and stay from like Wednesdays to Saturdays to help bathe Elizabeth and grocery shop and clean the house, but Luke lived there like full time from what I gather.
Also, I wanted to talk a little bit about Luke's dad. His name was Kenny Stout, just like Luke's brother, and he had died in a bad car wreck before Luke went missing. Him and his girlfriend were in the car, and his girlfriend was actually pregnant with Luke's sister, who was going to be named Josie May. This car wreck ended up killing all three of them, and this is actually where the family first start questioning police and how they handle cases, because they had written down that this was only a one-car accident, but it was clear by the tire tracks on the road road that there was at least 2 other vehicles involved. And what is thought to happen is that a truck with the dual wheels on the back locked their brakes, and his dad hit a tree trying not to hit the truck and their dual wheels. But you can tell there is obviously another vehicle involved because of the tire tracks on the road. And this happened only a few years before Luke went missing. He was 18 when his dad died.
He was solely riding bikes right now because from what I understand, he didn't pay his car insurance, so he couldn't legally drive his vehicle. But at some point, he had abandoned his bike around Buckhannon, planning to come back for it because the handlebars broke. But he was trying to make a plan with someone to help fix his bike before he just took the time of going to get it and bringing it home and doing all that. There was this man that they called Chino, and he owned a Mexican restaurant around town in Buckhannon. But this Mexican restaurant was actually in his wife's name because from what I gather, he was not a legal citizen. So let's talk a little bit about Chino's wife because she is a major part in this story. Her name is Kelly, and supposedly her and Chino had a very abusive relationship. Police had told Luke's family that they're pretty sure the only reason she stayed with him was because he was giving her like an allowance during the week. So she didn't have to work. She could just be home and do whatever she really wanted to do. And supposedly it was like $500 a day. So Kelly is known by the Stout family because actually her and Kenny had dated when they were like 18 or 19. She was a lot closer to Kenny's age than Luke's age, but it became very apparent that Luke had a kind of crush on Kelly, and Kelly took total advantage of it even while she was married to Chino. Luke and Kelly started meeting in secret at a friend's house so Chino wouldn't find out, and even these friends that they would meet at would tell them, listen, this is not a good idea. And at some point Kelly had actually told Luke that she was going to leave Chino for him, but this just wasn't realistic. When she was with Chino, they were married in a house. He was giving her money every day, where Luke lived with Elizabeth, helping take care of her, and just didn't have the freedom of having his own house. Well, in like most cheating cases, Chino found out, and he started really threatening Luke. He definitely had said it was going to be when Luke least expected it, and it was probably going to be violent. Luke tried to avoid him the best he can because if we're just being honest, Chino was a lot bigger than Luke. So of course, with the police seeming to be on Chino's side, he did get a little bit more ballsy. So Elizabeth had said that Luke came home one time with a mark on his forehead that matched a gun barrel. Luke had told her that Chino had threatened him and placed a gun to his forehead, I guess so hard it left a mark, and that it was because of Kelly cheating on Chino with him. So Luke went to the city police and tried to file a report, but for some reason the city police just turned him away. Even though there was a mark on his forehead, they turned him away. So then his family turned around and tried to file a report with the state police, and they just pretty much said they didn't want to step on anybody's toes in the city police, so they would also not take it. But at some point for Luke, enough was enough hearing these rumors and just worrying nonstop. So Luke actually went to Chino's restaurant and confronted him. He told him if he was going to kill him, just go ahead and do it, and that Luke was sick of hearing about it. And Chino called the cops on Luke. So an officer ended up calling Elizabeth's house and telling her what happened, and told them if someone got there to pick up Luke soon, he would not arrest him. So Kenny was actually at his mom's at this point and said, okay, great, I'll be there in 5 minutes, because it really wasn't more than 10 minutes from their house. But by the time that Kenny got there, in less than 10 minutes, they had already arrested Luke for disorderly conduct. And then the police made it it very clear that they were not going to do anything to Chino about threatening Luke all this time beforehand. So Kenny ended up going to confront Chino and Kelly to put a stop to what's going on with Luke and Luke and Kelly sleeping together. So Kenny showed up to Chino's restaurant first. He told him about his wife telling Luke that she was going to leave Chino for him and that she was convincing Luke that she was in love with him and really messing with Luke's feelings. And he even told Chino while at the restaurant, "I bet you they are together right now." So Chino sped out of this restaurant while Kenny followed him in his own car. And lo and behold, Luke's car, because he had his car at this time, was at Chino's house. And Chino was so mad that he didn't even park in the driveway. He parked right in the yard. And he just ran up his stairs yelling. So Kenny obviously followed him into the house. And clearly Luke and Kelly were very shocked that he was there. And Chino just kept asking Luke if he loved her, if he was in love with Kelly, and Luke said yes. Chino then pushed Luke, but Kenny put a stop to it because he just told him, "You're not going to do that to my brother while I'm around." And then Kenny tells Kelly, "This ends here." He told her to quit calling Elizabeth's house for Luke, and she just tried to claim, "I don't call the house." And Kenny is like, "Dude, I'm there all the time. I know that you call the house." And from what most people thought, they had quit seeing each other. This wasn't the stop to Kelly cheating on Chino though. She had then started seeing a guy named Josh Olberg. And ironically enough, Josh goes missing. And once Josh went missing, she somehow had snuck a phone to Luke that she was paying for so they could start talking again and making plans to see each other. So on Wednesday, July 18th, 2012 was the last time that Luke was seen. He had planned to meet his friend Dylan because he knew how to help fix bikes, and he was going to give Dylan one of his bikes that they helped fix if they helped fix the one that was abandoned. He left between 3 to 5 p.m. and Luke told his mom and brother that he loved them and he would see them later. He was wearing blue jeans, a black t-shirt with the sleeves cut off, black sneakers with green shoelaces, and possibly a jacket. From what Elizabeth and Kenny understand, Luke had gotten a phone call from who they assume is Dylan, and that Dylan was setting up a ride to come pick Luke up. A phone call called the house and told Luke that the ride was on its way and told him to go to the end of their driveway and wait. Luke said he didn't know who was picking him up, but supposedly they would know who Luke was because he would have a bike. And the driver was actually never identified. And Luke knew more than one Dylan. There was one Dylan that was his friend and was the one that Luke supposedly was rumored to meet up with, but he was a few years younger than Luke, so nobody's really sure if that's who it was. But there was another Dylan that Luke knew, which was Kelly's cousin, and maybe he was the one that Luke was talking to, especially since him and Kelly were meeting up again. While Luke was leaving, he saw the neighbor's ex-son-in-law. The ex-son-in-law tried to lie about it at first, saying he actually never saw him, but the father-in-law was like, yeah, he definitely saw Luke. And so the ex-son-in-law finally admitted to the state police that yeah, he saw Luke, tried to offer him a ride, but Luke declined. But this ex-son-in-law was close to Chino and the people that hung around Chino, and he had a rent-a-car at the time. At the bottom of their driveway, you really couldn't see. Their driveway was kind of winding, and there was just trees and stuff that blocked the view from the end of the driveway. So the family actually never saw who picked Luke up. So once the family realized Luke was missing, they worked really hard to get EquiSearch involved, and they did truly want to come in to help search for Luke. But the West Virginia State Police completely denied EquiSearch to come in. And ironically enough, the state police also denied EquiSearch to come in and look for Josh Olberg. So Kenny told me that Luke had a text-free app that could work when he was on Wi-Fi, but Kenny had the information of this text-free app that Luke used, and the police just pretty much acted like it wasn't a big deal at all. But but would not do any steps to try to trace the IP address or the number. They said they couldn't do anything with it, and they didn't do really well with explaining to the family why this wouldn't help in the case. While Luke's family was trying to gather evidence to help with this case, and a state trooper ended up telling them that Chino has been rumored to be part of the cartel, and that to protect themselves, especially if they're going to be making such a rumble of Luke being missing, Kenny ended up finding Luke's bike leaning against a trailer behind CVS. It was not repaired, so it is thought that he never made it to the destination that he was supposed to go to, and it was never really looked into on why the bike was left there. Luke was acquaintances with the people that lived in the trailer, but it wasn't like they hung out. He was just, nice to him. So Luke's brothers notified the police about this bike and finding it, and the police just advised them to take it home. They never questioned the people in the trailer, and they never came out to look at the bike itself. It is rumored that Luke was in the area, but nobody really knows who he met up with or who he went and saw. But the people in the trailer were definitely not named Dylan and not really seen to be a part of any of this. But we really don't know because the police never even questioned him. But especially at this point, this is when Kenny and his family really started to question how this investigation was going to go. And they just didn't understand why the police did not think that Luke's disappearance was a big deal. Now, the day that Luke went missing was a Wednesday, and the family did wait until about Saturday to report them missing because Luke would go and spend the night at his friend's house. He wouldn't always have signal to talk. He didn't have his own car, so sometimes he had to wait until somebody would take him home. So it wasn't unusual for Luke to be gone overnight, but when it got into like day 2, 3, 4, that's when they really got worried. And ironically enough, a few days after that, Chino's bathroom was completely redone. So a lot of people started to question, did something happen to Luke in this bathroom? Like, is that why they're completely redoing it and tearing out the floors, painting the wall, doing it all? And then it became a rumor that whatever Chino did to Luke in this bathroom, he either made Kelly watch or made Kelly join in. So 5 days after Luke's disappearance on July 23rd, 2012, the remains of Josh Oberg were found off of Bull Run Road in Upshur County. Now, Josh had been missing since January, and investigators had came up with the conclusion that Chino, Robert Siren, and Jesse Heater had been drinking one night in a field together in Hog Hollow. Heater shot and killed Josh Oberg and hid his body in a shallow grave. Chino had paid Heater to kill Oberg for having an affair with his wife, and also paid Siren to stay quiet about it. Now, Heater and Siren were cousins of Kelly, and if they would kill Josh Oberg for having an affair with Kelly, what's to stop them from killing Luke for having an affair with Kelly? But the good old police department decided that there was no link between Luke and Josh Oberg's case. So that meant that Chino was never linked to Luke's disappearance either. Even though Luke and Josh Oberg were having an affair with his wife, and they went missing within 6 months of each other. So at this point, Kenny decided he was going to confront Kelly. Kenny went to Chino's house to, quite frankly, kick his ass. And when he got there, Chino's car was there, but supposedly Chino wasn't. Kelly came around the side of the house telling him that Chino wasn't there and claimed that he was at the farm with Kelly's son, but kept telling him, please don't kick his ass in front of my son. And this was before she even knew why Kenny was there in the first place. Kenny, thank God, recorded this.
That is true. He's truck there. I don't think it's someone holler. I don't know, you tell me.
I don't know, man. I just saw it on Facebook.
Where's your old man?
He went to the game farm. Don't beat him up with my son around him. I don't know.
Why'd that guy tell us he wouldn't be back till Wednesday?
Yeah.
Because he's off Monday and Tuesday.
Oh, okay. I told you to pray off.
No, I didn't know until Facebook. Actually, Tater, you know who Tater is?
Is he about my age?
No, it's a girl.
Oh, because I know.
She's a lesbian. But anyway, she
I know her.
because we went to Virginia yesterday, me and Ring, to pick up her girlfriend, and she texted us. I'm like, what? And then we got on Facebook and we saw, and I was like, what the fuck? So when was the last day he went missing?
Wednesday's last time I seen him. As a mom, no one else has said anything else.
What time?
I seen him sometime in the evening. I'm not sure exactly. I wasn't expecting anything to be wrong.
Because I know Chino was working Wednesday until 9:30, 10:30.
Okay.
It takes them an hour to close down.
Yeah.
That's all I know.
I mean, do you think it's possible?
Well, Josh is missing, now Luke, I mean, I think so. I mean, it's possible, but like I said, Chino was working, but I don't know.
Well, we don't know.
Who was he hanging around with?
That's the thing, he was giving someone a bicycle frame when he left mom.
A bicycle frame?
Yeah. Some Dylan, I don't know.
Dylan Howes or Dylan Wolf?
Couldn't tell you. I have no idea.
I'll get a hold of my cousin Dylan, see if he's...
That's what he was doing. He was carrying a bicycle frame down off the hill, and I guess Jason Barkus walked down off the hill with him, and that's where it ends. I don't know if he left with Jason Barkus, or Jason Barkus just walked down the hill and then left with someone else, or what.
Did you get a hold of Jason?
We tried, but he ain't responding.
He's not responding.
And the investigating officer absolutely refused to meet with Kenny at all, and refused to listen to it. So in the trial of Josh Oberg, Jesse Heater was charged with first-degree murder, conspiracy to commit murder, concealment of human remains, conspiracy to conceal a deceased human body, and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Robert Siren was charged with manslaughter and conspiracy to conceal a deceased human body in the death of Josh Oberg, and he was sentenced to 15 years for his involvement. But Chino pled guilty to being in the country illegally and owning 16 firearms, but he did receive 40 years for second-degree murder and between 1 to 5 years for conspiracy. So in October, when the family found out that Chino had been paying these men to cause harm to Josh Oberg and obviously being worried about Luke, they went to protest his restaurant. And the reasoning was if he was paying people to kill others that slept with his wife, then they were going to make it where he didn't have the money to do that. And if the police were not going to do anything about Chino and Luke's investigation, the next step logically to them was to hurt him financially so he couldn't pay people to do this anymore. But some guy had pulled up to this protest in what looked like a border control shirt and was first really nice, just asking questions why they were there, what was going on, and then it was like he flipped a switch and just became a real jerk. He pretty much told them that they were causing people to lose their jobs, and it turned out that this was actually someone on the city council, not border control. So at this point, the mayor called Elizabeth. But one thing you need to know is that Elizabeth always talked on speakerphone, so anybody that was in the room with Elizabeth during a phone call could hear it. So Kenny was able to hear this whole conversation with the mayor. He was apologizing for the guy that gave him a hard time at the protesting, and he invited him to a city council meeting to really get their concerns for Luke's disappearance out there and maybe get some answers that they had questions to.
Jeannie Parsons, Jeannie Bundy Parsons.
Hello, how are y'all? I'm a new resident here to Buckhannon, to Upshur County, and I moved back here to a very disturbing thing, and that was the disappearance of Luke Stout. He is an endangered missing person, not just a missing person. His life was threatened by the same person that was arrested for murder for hire. I don't think a lot of people know that. There has not been but one search party for Mr. Luke since his disappearance. Also, there's been no FBI because the county, the police here have turned down their help And they have also turned down other search and rescue/recovery teams from other counties that would be free to this county. They've just not done anything. What is being done about that? Why have those rescue teams been turned down? That's the answer I think we all want. He went missing days before those 3 were arrested for that murder. That's my concern. Thank you for listening.
Elizabeth Stout.
Talk about God. What about him? Where's God when it comes to him? Where was God the day he walked into this police station and wanted to swear out a warrant for Chino and the cops wouldn't take him seriously? Answer me this. And the stuff I've been hearing that Kaner's been saying about my son, I want that to get investigated. Saying if he wasn't messing around with Chino's wife that he wouldn't have got what he got. How can any cop say something like that? And I have proof of it. I have witnesses. He ought to be dismissed now. He probably was the one my son went into. He come home with a gun barrel mark into his forehead. And I tried calling the states, but they didn't want to step on the city's toes. Now look where my son is. He's got rights just as any of us here. Just as much rights. Why was his statement not took? Why was it not checked into? Answer me.
Well, I talked to you on the phone, and your story doesn't match up with what the police have to say.
What's the police have to say? Where are they?
I tried to tell you, we're not going to try this thing here in the meeting.
Where was God with my child the night he walked into the cities? He ran for his life. He got away from that man.
I told you on the phone. If it were my child, I would be upset. I understand that you're upset.
Upset? You'd be more than upset, sir.
Yeah, probably so. Are you finished, ma'am? Are you Kenneth?
Yeah, since you said you know, what are they saying?
The police story and your old story don't match up. But I'm not going to answer a bunch of questions because I don't know. I'm not the police.
You said you know.
I didn't say I know.
Our stories didn't match, so apparently you heard their story.
I'm not going to address it.
Now, you gave her permission to come down here so you would address it. You told her to come down here.
No, I said she.
No, he was hoping I'd be here last week when he wasn't going to be here, Kenny.
No, I didn't know I wasn't going to be here.
You told her
you told me you weren't going to.
I'm not going to argue with you, and I'm going to ask you all to leave. Kenneth, are you finished?
No, sir. I'd like for you to tell me what you heard.
I'm not going to answer questions. Hearsay is hearsay, and I'm not going to get into it.
Okay, then how come you didn't get back to her after you found out what they supposedly said? You said you was going to.
I never said that.
Yes, you did.
Yes, you did, sir.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you
most
did.
certainly did too.
They coming?
Yeah. I told you, they're calling the cops. This is bull. Cocksuckers, I'm out here, Mom. Oh, yeah, this here's the officer. You remember I asked you about my brother? Let's go for him and what was his name, Posey? You knew exactly what I was talking about, didn't you?
Out the door, please.
When he was trying to give a statement against Chino.
Sir, you've been asked to leave.
Yeah. This is
If we're going to have an argument, we're going to take it outside.
Okay, if not, any request council authorization for the city administrator to submit the Brushy Fork Minor Boundary Adjustment Annexation application to the Upshur County Commission.
You are a liar.
Get the police back here. It's time for y'all to go.
I'm going, but I'm just letting everybody know you are a liar, sir.
Yeah, I know. I've been called that.
I hate to call you as our Buckhannon mayor.
Goodbye.
It's the truth, guys. Everybody better listen and wake up.
Go on.
Take me up, take me.
You caused enough problem here. Let's go.
Take me up, take me.
Come on, Mom.
Come on, it's all good.
Take control.
Come on, let's go.
Take me.
Come on, let's go.
Everybody else is leaving.
And outside the meeting, there was even a police officer that said that he knew about the police report of Luke having a gun barrel mark on his forehead from Chino. Yet, they won't even look into Chino about this case. And from this point forward, there just really hasn't been any push to look into Luke's case from the police at all. Kenny had actually given his DNA to the police to help match any remains that would be found if it was Luke. The police didn't use any gloves while handling any of the DNA samplings, and Kenny even said something to them like, won't that contaminate it? And the police pretty much said that if he was so concerned that he should have came in earlier to give DNA because Kenny had waited a little bit after Luke going missing. My first point is that Kenny was not obligated to give DNA, first of all, but second of all, maybe Kenny didn't know how DNA worked, that he could use his own DNA to help find Luke. It it is possible that Kenny just didn't know that this technology existed. And second of all, why did the police not mention it to him? Because it is possible he didn't know. And it's possible it just slipped Kenny's mind, because Kenny and Elizabeth had so much going on in their minds when Luke was missing and pretty much doing the investigation all by themselves. So the police should have mentioned to him that this was available. And when I talked to Kenny, he even told me he didn't know a database NamUs existed. So how would he have known that he could send his DNA there for Luke? So there are a few possible theories on this case. One is that Luke was put in the witness protection program. This would explain why the police just didn't really seem to want to be that involved. And this would also explain why there was absolutely no urgency by the police with Luke's case. A police officer had told Luke's family at one point that they wanted Luke to be undercover for them and a narc, and this could be why Luke was targeted. But this part of the information came out after Luke went missing, and the family has claimed that they really didn't know anything about this beforehand, and that Luke was not really the type to go undercover or be a narc, especially since he didn't get in trouble with the police. So what would really be the reason? And of course, the family just really believes that there's no way Luke would have went that long without talking to his mother, especially since he knew his mother really didn't have that much longer to live. Okay, next theory is that the police were just completely uninterested in this case. There has been hardly any information given to the family about Luke's disappearance. The police have no idea who they've questioned. They have no idea what evidence they have gotten. But there was a point that a police officer said there was a really reliable source that said they saw a heater picking up Luke from the top of the driveway. So Kenny got really excited about this, like finally, right? And it's the people that they assumed did it. But randomly it was decided that it was no longer reliable. They absolutely never checked Elizabeth's phone at her house or her records. They never checked any of that. The police tried to claim they waited too long to check the phones, and so therefore there would be nothing on it. But the family had been pushing for this, so why was that not one of the first things they did when he was reported missing? Because it started with this person who called to say Luke had a ride somewhere. And also, if the police had taken Luke seriously about holding him at gunpoint, it could have easily saved Luke's life. So is this a thing that the police thought they messed up, so they just continued to be uninterested? And of course, the biggest theory is that Chino is the main suspect. It is rumored that Chino was in a bike gang, so it's possible that he could have hired someone out of there to kill Luke, or just that if they were an alliance like most gangs are, they would do it just for the sheer fact that this guy was sleeping with Chino's wife. This is the exact same circumstances as Josh Oberg, and we know what happened to him for sleeping with Kelly. So why in the world would Chino not be a main suspect? Especially redoing his bathroom a few days after Luke went missing? That's weird, right? And of course, Chino is innocent until proven guilty. This is all just theories and for entertainment purposes only. But that is the case of Luke Stout's disappearance. But thank you guys so much for watching, and again, a big thank you to Kenny and his beautiful wife for helping me prepare for this video and really get everything in a nice outline to make sure we covered almost all of it. This video would not have been able to happen without you guys. Please leave in the comments below any thoughts you have on this case, and please, this shouldn't have to be said, but be kind, because it is very possible that Luke's family will read these comments. And also any other cases that you know of that you would want me to cover. Please like and subscribe for me, and hit that notification button. That way you're notified the next time I upload. All right, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
I want to thank everyone. I've got so many people that left prayers, left candles, and shared Luke today. I want to thank all you for the support. You don't know how much it means. And that anytime you see a missing person come across your feed, please share them. Do not let them be forgotten, no matter if they live states away, because you never know, will they be found?